Oyo State governor hosted the first citizen in Nigeria, President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. The presidential aircraft of President Goodluck Jonathan taxied to a halt at Alakia Airport at exactly 12:38 p.m. and was received by the government team led by the state governor, Senator Abiola Ajimobi, the deputy governor, Chief Moses Adeyemo, and other top government officials. The former deputy governor of Oyo State, Alhaji Taofeek Arapaja, and other PDP stalwarts were also at the airport to receive the president. After the usual airport pleasantries, the president and the state governor proceeded assessment tour of the affected area in a military helicopter to give the president the opportunity of having a full glare of the disaster within Ibadan metropolis. After the assessment of the affected areas, the team converged at the banquet hall of the governor's lodge, where the president commiserated with the people of Oyo State over the flood disaster. President Jonathan, who was deeply touched by the disaster that claimed many lives, mandated the people at the banquet hall to observe a minute silence for the departed souls. Dr. Jonathan, however, expressed the willingness of the federal government to bring Oyo State back to normalcy by deploying technical crew from the Federal Ministry of Works, Environment and Water Resources to the state to determine the level of assistance required by the state. President Jonathan commended the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, and the United Nations for their prompt intervention.
The federal government and my family will express our condolences to the governor and the good people of Oyo State. Our visit here, first and foremost, is for that we commiserate with all the people of Oyo State for this flood disaster that affected the state significantly. As a person, I feel burdened because you would agree with me that any community or a state that you, as a key thing to do with your life, you will always remember. I did my youth corps in the old Oyo State, though for my primary assignment, that part is now also state. But I know for the orientation, we are camped in the University of Ibadan, where we stayed for 6 weeks. And of course, Ibadan was the capital of the old Oyo State then. So whenever I come to this part of the country, I feel quite at home. When I heard about the disaster, I felt terribly worried. And especially as the president of the country, where the whole country is concerned, we didn't want any disaster in any part of the country. We flew over some of the places. We also inspected some of the places. We've seen the extent of damage. And of course, we have also watched the video clips, considered the pictures. The one, at least when the water level was quite high. Also some of the dead bodies that were recovered. We feel pain. But it's a natural disaster, so we only pray that God should give the states and the direct families of the victims the fortitude to bear the loss.
Earlier in his address, the state governor, Senator Abiola Ajimobi, said Oyo State has never witnessed a disaster of such magnitude since its creation. He, however, appealed to the federal government to urgently come to the aid of Oyo State by considering the letter of request of Oyo State government. He noted that Oyo State government has equally commenced the rehabilitation of the victims and reconstruction of some of the damaged facilities.
Appreciation for your sympathetic and caring disposition as exemplified by your timely visitation to commiserate with the good people of Oyo State and Ibadan in particular. We are particularly impressed and appreciative of the concern and prompt actions you have taken since the occurrence of this.
The president also visited His Royal Highness the Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Samuel Odulano Odugade I, at his Monotone residence before his departure at 4:15.